Blog Talk Radio.
Well, hello, Divas. Welcome back to the Divas That Care Network. My name is Candace Gish, and for all of you new ones, we are so excited that you've tuned in for the first time today. Oh, wow. You know, I was thinking back, our show has been running now we're going into our 9th season, and I'm just so excited. You know, I have the opportunity to talk with the most amazing, interesting women out there, and they're so much fun. And I honestly can say that I'm inspired and empowered by all of them. This show has been I'm just so grateful that I'm able to do that, to be able to talk with these amazing women, and that for you to be able to get to know them also. And today's no different, ladies. You know, I always say, I was mentioning the other day that 2019 is going to be absolutely amazing, and these women that are going to be on our show this year are bigger than life, and I just love what they're doing and how they're really making an impact in the world today. So for any of you that, as I was saying, just tuned in, you know, if you ever see our hashtag out there, it's hashtag Divas That Care, and that is kind of our movement that we're trying to get out there, and we hope that you want to be a part of it with us. Okay, let's get started, ladies. Today's guest, this amazing woman, we're going to be welcoming her to our Diva family. Her name is Cassandra Bach. And this woman, you're just going to love her. For any of I'm not even going to say anything because when I had the opportunity to kind of read her bio and then kind of go to her website, you know, I just love what she's doing. So I'm going to let her talk about it. So Cassandra, welcome to the show today.
Oh, thank you so much. This is so fun. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I'm really excited too, Cassandra. You're doing so many amazing things. You have a very beautiful story. And if you don't mind, I would love you to spend a few minutes just sharing a little bit about yourself and what you love to do.
I would love to do that. My name is Cassandra Beach, and I'm a fertility coach. And, I got into this because when I was 42, I realized that if I wanted to be honest, so I decided to become a single mother by choice. And I started trying to conceive, and month after month, it just wasn't happening. After a couple of years, I upped my game and committed to doing 2 rounds of IVF. 2 because I had 2 vials of sperm left, and because they gave me a 6 or 7% chance of conceiving. About to throw too much money at those odds, but I did feel that I had to give it a shot. And the first round, absolutely nothing happened. And it was actually a lot more devastating than any of the artificial inseminations that I had done previously, because I actually saw these 2 mini-me's created, and they had to die, whereas before I never knew if egg and sperm ever met. So after the first round, I was licking my wounds for a while, but luckily I'd already committed to the next round, so I just showed up. And on the first day of that cycle to start the IVF, the first day I realized, wow, I am still fully attached to the 2-parent family, and I've been holding on to that idea for dear life. In fact, the man I had most recently dated, I sort of had him floating in and out of my life at that time, and he even helped me choose the sperm donor. So,
oh my goodness!
I know, isn't that crazy? So funny. The sperm donor is the closest likeness we could find to this man that I used to date. I think he wanted he was hoping that he'd get it together to be with me. Anyway, so in a conversation with him, I realized I was so attached to this 2-parent family, and I was holding on to it, and I'd put him in the role of the other parent, even though we were no longer together. And I realized, okay, this is going to cost me having a baby, potentially, because if I'm attached to this 2-parent family, why am I going to get pregnant as a single mother by choice? And I realized I had to be all in. I had to actually let go of that fear in order to be all into this single mother by choice. And that's what I did. I said goodbye to him. I put all my energy into being a single mother and became really focused on that. And I was pregnant 2 weeks later for the first time in my life. So it's
my goodness.
Profound change. I know, isn't that crazy? So I realized I basically had to get out of my own damn way to get what I wanted. And I figured that if I could do it for me, And that if this was my problem, that would be other people's problem as well. So especially when we're, in our 40s trying to have babies as opposed to 23, when you're just going to have a baby, because your body's ready to have a baby. So that's what I've been working at ever since. And I have a beautiful, almost 6-year-old daughter named Sandy now, and we're having a blast.
Oh, I love it. Well, congratulations. I love that story. I think it's a beautiful testament to who you are and now what you're doing with others. And I like how you said it was really a mindset for you to be able to get to this point. And I think a lot of women, because infertility is a huge thing, from what I've heard and from the people I've known, it's been a very difficult a time in people's lives. And I'd like to talk about that because it's something that I find, as I say, very interesting, and I think our guests are going to love, want to hear more about this. So can you tell me, let's just dive in. Let's talk about your business. And it's called Wanna Get Knocked Up. And
yeah.
I thought, when I went to your website, I'm like, wow, that's a great name. Let me go. And when I was reading through it, I'm like, this is really neat. And I like the way that you're kind of going through it. It's not just your typical way. It's a lot about the mind, body, spirit. You're working with people on a different level altogether. And so before I talk, why don't you just tell me a little bit about this?
Okay. I actually, in thinking about what I wanted to talk to you about today, I actually took a moment to identify, I'll dive further into my business, but to identify how people can benefit from having a fertility coach when they're trying to conceive. And can I just share this little list, and then I'll dive in a bit further?
I would love that. Oh, yes,
Awesome.
I would love that.
Awesome. So one of the ways is to actually create or improve their vision of their family. It's amazing how many people come to me and I ask them what their family looks like. And some people are really clear. I'm going to have 2 kids. It's going to be a boy and a girl. And while that's really great, they get really attached to the fact that it's going to be a boy and a girl as well. So it's sometimes not serving them in the right way. So we either improve and tweak their family vision, or we create one, because other people are like, I just got the clock ticking. It's so loud. I got to have a baby, but they don't see what that actually looks like, what they're going to do in this family and whatnot. So we create a vision of that. And it's amazing. The clients who come back to me, they say that they really have a clarity of intention through this vision creation. So they actually, they think they want to have a baby, but they're not as focused as they'd like to think they are. And then the second benefit is that so that's the goal. Then we have to take it
Cassandra,
into a plan. Yeah.
Can I just ask you a question in regards to that? So you're talking about the vision. Can this be kind of like you sitting down with somebody and doing even a vision board with these ladies?
Absolutely. And I actually do that. So we actually do a vision box. And we put a whole bunch of things in it that will actually, like, what are they going to do with their kids as they get older, and what does their family look like, and all kinds of things.
I love
that.
Absolutely.
I know. And it's really powerful.
I can see that. I can really see that. Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
Absolutely. Awesome. So that's the goal. Now we have to come up with a plan. When somebody is going to run a marathon, they don't just wake up and go, the Scotiabank Marathon is on next weekend. I'm going to sign up and just show up, right? Like, they just don't do that. Although, to be honest, I do have one friend who did that. But anyway, beyond him, he could hardly walk for 3 days afterwards. Usually you come up with a plan. So you're going to do this marathon. Okay, so I need to train. I need to prepare. I need to eat these things. Like, you come up with a strategy, right? So that's one of the benefits of working with a fertility coach, is that we develop a strategy to make your dream of family a reality. And then the next one we do, and this is actually really important. I think we've lost touch with how important it is to be aware of our language. We shift our language when I'm working with people, because the power of words is actually really important to consider. The thing that people say the most is that they're trying to conceive. Well, trying is a terrible word. You're basically telling your subconscious that you don't ever have to really succeed. Maybe you just want to have a lot of sex. Like, it doesn't tell your body and your subconscious that you actually want to have a baby. So I encourage people to use the term that they're starting their family or growing their family, regardless of whether or not they have a successful outcome, right? And it's much more committed. Like, that's one of the things that people say, is that they're just like so much more committed to having a baby than they realized before. The next one I wanted to cover was working through their blocks or fears. This is where the mindset work happened for me, and we do this together. And it's amazing what people fear. I had one client who was terrified of having an unhealthy baby. And then, so if your whole body is terrified of having an unhealthy baby, because she felt that she couldn't handle that, then why would you get pregnant? Or your body be like, whoa, let's not get pregnant this month. Right?
Yeah.
And then, so the blocks and fears is a really big one. And then we take that goal and plan and we put it into action. And I keep people on track. Through accountability, they tell me about their distractions. I get them back on track. And we really try to keep them moving forward, because, to be honest, there are a lot of things that people can be doing to improve their chances of conceiving or of carrying to term that they are not aware of. They don't realize how much of an active role, especially once people get into the fertility clinic. They think, I'm showing up to my appointments, I'm giving myself the shots or whatever they're doing. And they think that that's what they're supposed to do. And they forget that they need to also be eating well and, being mindful. And a big area that we focus on is stress management. So stress can kill. So how would it not influence whether or not we have a baby? So that gives you I thought that was like my little put out there as far as the benefits of working with a coach. And so I wanted to share that with you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
No, I love that, Cassandra, because I don't think a lot of people realize that. Is there must be quite a few coaches throughout Canada and the United States.
There are lots of coaches. There aren't a lot of fertility coaches.
No.
There are a few.
Interesting.
It is interesting. It's I think it's an area that there need to be more of us, but there also needs to be more people there need to be more of us, in that we need to be speaking out about how much people can benefit from it. I mean, I use the example of a doula. To me, a doula is like a birth coach, right? And
yes.
When you're in that birthing process, I mean, holy moly, I don't know what your births were like, but I had a home birth.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most powerful, I shouldn't say one of the most. It was the most powerful experience of my life. And there were two times in it that I literally was saying to the doula and the midwife, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Like, I just couldn't get the baby out. And both times, these women, both the midwife and the doula, they kept me on track. They kept me focused. They kept me from losing my mind. And that was in a very intense moment. And while that's, right moment by moment, the same holds true for coaching with respect to, even creating the baby in the first place. So,
yes.
and there's a lot of benefit. Like, I have a theory around multiple miscarriages, and I think that it could have something to do with the mindset. I think that's where your mindset can be playing a role. Like, take, for instance, the woman I shared the story about with respect to having an unhealthy baby. If you get pregnant and you are terrified of having an unhealthy baby, do you think your body wants to stay pregnant? Seriously. So I don't think that it does. So there are things that people can shift even to, and by the time people have had a couple of miscarriages, they're just terrified, period. So
Yeah.
anyways, we do a lot of work with people with miscarriages and whatnot too. But yeah, there aren't a lot of coaches doing this. There are some for sure, but there aren't a lot of us.
You know what, and hopefully we can get the word out there, and there can be more people like yourself that can do this. I have a question for you. I know that you are in the Toronto area, but if you have people in different parts of Canada, for example, can you work with them online on the phone, or do you work mostly with people just in Toronto?
No, not at all. What we do together can be online, and I work with people in Canada and the U.S. So yeah, I can work with anybody. It's really easy with Zoom and whatnot. It's really fun to be online because you're looking at each other face to face. So
nice.
Yeah.
And that's perfect because it's a difficult time, and especially if you live in remote areas, you want to be able to provide the best thing or do the best thing that you can do. And unfortunately, in the locations, there's not always the people that you need. So it's nice that we have somebody like you out there that can work with these amazing women that are wanting to have a baby.
Awesome. Yes. And if I can add one thing too, I work with people both before they've started sort of the fertility treatment route and through it, because I have a lot of tips and tricks for people to improve their chances while they're going through the fertility treatment process. And B, it just helps them to get over a lot of the stress of even going through that process. And it can be incredibly beneficial and supportive just to have somebody there for you, right? Because there are a lot of people who get really, they almost isolate themselves to go through this process. And when they're kind of stuck in it, and because a lot of people don't want to share it with their friends and family, and all they get is pity when they do. And so it's really kind of an interesting phase that people go through where they kind of retreat and they stay in it. And so it's nice to be able to offer support to people.
I think that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful because, you know what, I completely understand that part of it. It's a personal thing, but you're right. It's a very unsure time in a person's life. So let's talk about what you do with your ladies. And obviously you're an amazing support network for them. Is there like a group setting where women work together, or is it's really more of a one-on-one type of a situation?
I work both with people one-on-one and in a group setting. And both are powerful, absolutely. It depends on what the person is looking for. Some people really want the group setting of working with other women. And again, I also offer group online. And other people some people come with their spouse and have the one-on-one. So it just depends on what people are comfortable with. And
you're just willing to work with them in any way that they need. I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm really here to serve. Like, I really feel that I'm here to bring in babies. And in fact, I've had several spiritual people say to me that there are souls that need to come in, and they're not finding bodies that they can come in through. So it's kind of interesting to think of it from that perspective. But yeah, it's I really want to just help people create babies. So
I love it. And I love babies too. So it's like, this is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I know we don't have too much time, but I want to talk, you've given us some really great tips, things to get started. How can our ladies too, how can they meet up with you? How can they get a hold of you? How can they, check out your blog and all that?
Yes. Well, I'm going to give you my email just so that people can reach me directly if they desire, which is Cassandra and I'll spell it out. It's wannagetknockedup.com, and I'll spell it out, WANNAGETKNOCKEDUP.com. So that's a great way. My website is also wannagetknockedup.com, so they can go through there. And if they scroll down to the bottom, they can sign up for my nurture campaign, my freebie that is 13 ways to prepare for pregnancy. because there are a lot of things that people can be doing on their own to improve their chances. And it kind of, I feel like I've waded through a lot of the information that's out there. So you've got information in there on acupuncture and the benefits, and a whole bunch of different articles, and I do some videos and whatnot that can help people to make some choices for themselves to be an active participant in their pregnancy journey.
Yay, and that's what we want. We want it to be a wonderful, wonderful time for these ladies, and it's because it's such a blessing, and it's the most amazing thing that you can do. So I thank you so much, Cassandra, for all that you're doing. I just want to ask you, is there last minute things that you would love to share with our divas today?
Last minute things. Well, if I may, I'd like to share just a comment on family, if I may, because one of the other things that I'm very passionate about is that families come in all different shapes and sizes. And we still have, the traditional model of family, but that doesn't mean that, like, my family is a single mother by choice family, and there are same-sex families. And I think I would encourage everyone to go after whatever family that is to them. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's the same as their family of origin, but I really love when people come to me and they come, same-sex partners, trans couples, there are all kinds of situations that people come, and I'd like to just mention that because I want everyone to feel like they too deserve a family in whatever form that's going to take, and that I'm always going to be open to that. So I'm open to any sort of family, and I love them all. So I just wanted to, and my daughter has, can I share just a little crazy
You
fact?
can. I love this. And I'm, you know what, Cassandra, I just want you to know, like, I completely believe in what you just said because, yes, I do. So this is, yes. So keep going. Love it.
So my daughter, I discovered when she was 2 that she has some half siblings. Of course, she's a donor baby. So we bought sperm from a sperm bank, and so she has some siblings. Well, right now she has 103 half siblings, and there's one on the way.
Oh.
And we met the donor 2 months ago.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we've got a little bit of a crazy story that I haven't been sharing so much yet, but I intend to, because I just want people to realize that this is like the old concept of family doesn't it's shifting. Let's just say it that way.
It is.
So we have a lot of fun. We go on trips and we meet other people from her family. So I'm sharing that more and more for people to be aware, because I live in Toronto. We're pretty progressive here, and people are open to things, families like I have. But I know people in smaller communities might not feel like they could have the family of their dreams, and there are just other options. Just try to be open to whatever it takes to have your family.
Beautiful, and that's amazing, and what a unique story. I think that is just fantastic, and and honestly, and for that man to be a part of this journey, well, in a lot of ways, a part of this journey for all of these families, I think that it is beautiful, because you were right. We don't know what life is going to bring. We don't know what our families are going to be, and whatever it's going to be and what we want is what we should go out and try to achieve. So I thank you, because you are an amazing woman that is really helping people out on this journey, and I want to thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome, and thank you. I've enjoyed this immensely.
It has been a lot of fun, and
Absolutely.
Getting to know you, and we want to welcome you to our Diva family. Cassandra, we thank you so much, and I hope that you will definitely come back on our show again and share some of the things that are happening in your life and the things that you're doing out there.
I would love that anytime.
Perfect. Well, we're definitely going to get you back on. So thank you so much for coming on today. And you know what? I want to say a big thank you to all of our listeners. It's because of you that we continue to do our show, and we continue to have amazing guests like Cassandra on our show. So make sure that you send this to your friends and family. And if you are an amazing diva out there, we want you on our show also, because we want to share your story with as many people as we can. So thank you again, Cassandra. Thank you to all of our other amazing guests that have been on our show. And if you want to check out all their shows, you can visit our website at divasthatcare.com. So thank you again, and I hope that all of you have an amazing week. And until next time, we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.